In this clip, we'll chat about display cables and connectors. This is an area where multiple standards exist, so we have to know about USB-C, HDMI, DisplayPort, and even DVI for older devices. VGA has merely historical interest these days, but it's on the exam outline, so we have to give it a quick look too. USB-C actually supports two digital video signaling standards, DisplayPort in something called alternate mode, and Thunderbolt. Now, many displays have HDMI ports, but not USB-C ones, in which case we'll need a USB-C to HDMI adapter, which are readily available. Newer displays are more likely to have a USB-C port so that we won't need an adapter. The maximum resolution and refresh rate over USB-C will depend on the quality of the cable, as well as the specs of the computer and display. One cool feature is that with some monitors, while using them with a laptop over USB-C, the monitor can simultaneously charge your laptop. Now, although USB-C is newer, HDMI is still the most common video port. HDMI cables manage video and audio data over a 19-pin asymmetrical connector. We don't often hear about HDMI versions, but they do exist. 2.1 appeared in 2017 and 2.2 in 2025. There are three sizes of HDMI connectors, standard, mini, and micro, with the smaller sizes more often used on smaller devices. The lower photo at left shows a micro HDMI laptop port. HDMI can convert back and forth with DVI monitors without any loss of quality, but if we convert from HDMI to VGA, there will be some degradation. Here's a photo of a typical HDMI cable with HDMI connectors on each end. Now, the DisplayPort interface came on the scene in 2008 and was meant as a replacement for both VGA and DVI. It uses a 20-pin latching connector that looks like a rectangle with one corner sliced off. Watch the specs when buying DisplayPort cables. There's no visual distinction between a cable that can support 4K video versus one that can support 8K video. The mini DisplayPort connector was favored on Apple laptops, but has been superseded by Thunderbolt, which is more versatile. As I mentioned earlier, the DisplayPort signaling scheme can transmit over USB-C ports if those ports support the so-called alt mode. Now, an older digital video port that you may still see occasionally is DVI, the Digital Visual Interface, which is interesting for its incorporation of both analog and digital signal modes in the same connector. DVI can be adapted down to the even older VGA standard and has a 4.5 meter limit for 1920 by 1200 resolution. DVI has a variety of connectors. DVI-D is all digital, DVI-A is all analog. DVI-I integrates both digital and analog signals in the same cable, and DVI-DL for dual link has a few more pins and supports higher resolutions. Now, you won't see many VGA systems anymore, but here's the least you need to know about the video graphics array. It appeared in the late 1980s and is an analog-only standard, offering a resolution of 640 by 480 in 16 colors, which was very exciting back then and much less so now. A subsequent enhancement called Super VGA went all the way up to 800 by 600. VGA does not support audio signals. The connector has 3 rows of 5 pins in each row and uses a D-type connector as shown at left, which only looks like a D if you turn it sideways and use your imagination. Here's a photo of a VGA cable so you know what it looks like with its male and female D shell connectors. And here's a photo of a laptop with both DisplayPort and VGA ports. The DisplayPort connection is on the left. You can see a D and a P in its logo. And that's a quick look at video cables and connectors.